This episode of the Pu'u Muay Thai podcast is brought to you by pmtlifestyle.com, authentic Muay Thai lifestyle by Pu'u. Definitely go check out the website at pmtlifestyle.com for some awesome lifestyle merchandise. That's for those of you out there either involved in Muay Thai, looking at getting involved in Muay Thai, and embrace a healthier lifestyle to live the life of a Nak Muay. Go check it out. All right, so today we have Celest Hansen, who's coming live here in Phuket, Thailand right now, right?
Yeah, really.
Awesome. Hey, so first, thanks for making time to come on to the podcast. For those that don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about what you're doing in Thailand right now.
Okay, so I'm training in Phuket, Thailand at Singer Muay Thai. I've been there for about 2 years. I've been in Thailand for maybe 6 to 7 years. And at the moment, I'm competing in the Road to One Thailand. And I have 2 more fights to go.
Yeah, awesome. So the Road to One Thailand, that's a tournament that they're doing to be able, do you get a contract with One FC after that, or how does that work?
Yeah, so you get a contract for 6 fights. It's worth 100,000 American dollars. And yeah.
That's pretty nice. That's good money over there too. Very, very good.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. How long, you get that, how long would you be able to live in Thailand on that money for?
I think everyone spends it differently. So, I mean, you could live a really long time cheaply or a really good time shortly. But a long time, yes.
Yeah, I don't see you being the person that's going out and go party over in Patong or something like that and blow all your money.
No.
Yeah. Well, that's a really awesome opportunity, and I think maybe a long time coming, because you were. How active were you in fighting during shutdown? I think you were fighting Muay Hardcore and stuff like that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was fighting about once a month when everything opened back up, or maybe a bit shorter, 2 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah, because I remember at one point it kind of seemed like One was kind of just taking whoever was available to be able to come fight. So there's some people that got in then. There's people like Alicia from Phuket Fight Club, who's down there, who got world title and stuff like that too. So for you, how old are you?
I'm 28.
28. Okay, and how long have you been doing Muay Thai for?
Since I was 21, so
21.
7 years.
7 years. Well, so now 7 years. And how many fights have you had so far? Do you know?
48.
48 fights. That's good in 7 years, especially for a foreigner. And so you're living full time in Phuket, is that correct?
Yeah, I live here full time, yes.
Awesome. When you're in Phuket, how did you end up at the gym you're at, and what gym are you at?
So I'm at Phuket Singer Muay Thai. I ended up there. So I was in Koh Samui first. I lived there for maybe 1.5 years. And then I moved to Phuket. I went to a gym called Kalpitai, but unfortunately it closed. And then my trainer at the time, he just trained me when he wasn't working. So I didn't really have a gym for many years. And then when COVID started, Phuket Singer Muay Thai had offered me sponsorship, which was really kind of them. And yeah, I've been with them ever since. So it's been really good.
Awesome. So then how long have you been with Phuket Singer Muay Thai?
Probably maybe around 2 years now.
2 years. Okay. And that's kind of I think where I started seeing you be more active and stuff like that also in Thailand for at least on social media, right? So I thought it was really cool. I think you used to have the picture, the green background that you see everybody that's fighting Muay Hardcore that they have.
Yeah.
The telltale sign is cool to be able to see that growth, and I've seen you do a lot of awesome positive messages about that too. So, like, what got you inspired to start? Like, what got you started in Muay Thai?
Someone called me fat.
I thought that was a joke, by the way. That's
No, no,
funny.
it's
So
real.
yeah, someone called you fat. Was this in Australia?
Yeah. I met someone in Australia, then they called me fat, and then that finished. And then later on, I didn't ever do exercise. Like I couldn't even walk 100 meters. I hated exercise. And then, because my family, they travel. So like, in your country, you call them like the carnival. But in Australia, we call them the show. So I travel. I can't do any sports.
Oh wow.
And then I went to a gym because I wanted to lose some weight, and they offered boxing. And I'd like always dreamt of being a famous boxer, but I never thought it would happen. They're like, oh, we only do Muay Thai. So then I tried it out. And then like after the first class, I was like, can I please fight?
Sold. Yeah. So when you're saying like you're doing the shows, the carnivals and stuff, like what did did you grow up doing that? Was there a certain period of time that your family was doing that, or was it kind of like the family business?
Yeah, so it's like a generational thing. I was born into it. So we live in a caravan, we travel around, we don't have a house. So there's a lot of things I wasn't able to do. And yeah, that's just what my life was. I think when I was 11, my parents sent me off to boarding school. So I was able to have more of a stable life and school life.
Yeah. It's ironic you end up in Muay Thai with that lifestyle too, because it's very like, same thing is very like transient for people who, compete professionally and do this stuff for a living. So, I guess would you say it was like an easy transition for you to do that kind of stuff? Like where you had to move away from your family and do that, or how was that?
Yeah, I guess it was easy because I moved out of home when I was 11 years old. So,
yeah.
And I mean, I'd always traveled. So it just felt probably normal. Yeah.
Yeah. And, for people here, we have a lot of people that listen in North America. Shout out to everybody else around the world that's listening. But Americans, they notoriously they don't travel a lot. It's crazy,
Yeah, Australia too. They don't leave their hometown.
Oh, really? You guys get a lot of we call them townies.
Oh, yeah, it's everywhere in the world.
Yeah, you get that a lot, but that's surprising though, because you got Bali, you have like so many like nice, obviously Thailand, Malaysia, all these countries that are right there that are so close and easy to get to. So, as you're going through this Muay Thai journey, like how long were you training before you had your first fight?
So I trained probably about a month-ish in Australia. I asked them to fight and they said, no way. Like I was so bad. Like the trainer would laugh at me. I couldn't even do a star jump. And they said, you've got to at least train for 6 months to learn how to protect yourself. And I said, well, I don't have that time. Like I'm going to travel to the next show and I'm not going to be at this gym. And they said, well, no. And I said, all right, do you know anywhere in Thailand I can train at? And then they said a gym in Koh Samui. And then I went there and I've been here ever since.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Oh, and then also, sorry, I didn't answer the question. I trained in Koh Samui for about a month before my first fight. They also said no, but I was like, I'm doing it.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to do. So you didn't do any like athletics or sports when you were growing up?
Oh my God. At school, like when it was the exercise class, I was like, oh, I'm sick.
So that's a pretty inspirational story for anybody that's kind of going through this. It's funny. I'm sure you see people ask like, "Oh, am I too old to get started?" And it's like, dude, you're 15. Like, go get it.
I mean, I've seen people. One of my friends in Thailand are 50. Like, I think maybe they're like 54 now, but she had her first fight at 51.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's freaking awesome. Just being in my 30s, I feel aches and pains. I can't imagine doing that in your 50s. Damn. So, kind of going through what do you feel is what's your big goal in Muay Thai right now? Outside of getting into one championship, I saw your last fight. I watched it. That was a mean right hook, by the way.
Thank you.
I felt I was like, oh yeah, that didn't look like it was a pleasant experience for your opponent. But what's your overall goal?
My overall goal is to show the world that women are strong and beautiful. We deserve equal opportunity, and to make sure that the next generation doesn't have to go through what I went through.
Yeah. So you were kind of going into that, from like a sports significance background. I talked about it a little bit for like our students, especially like we have kids programs and stuff here, and we talk about with the kids. So like our little kids, they know who you are, all right?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, because it's important. It's part of like the story of Muay Thai, you know. And is there you were one of the first? Were you the first woman to fight at Lumpinee Stadium?
Yeah.
One of the first women, you and your opponent. And so like, did you ever see that happening? Like, if you have that opportunity, like I obviously they had the fat signs that said women do not touch the ring. It was like never. I honestly was like, I don't know if this is ever gonna happen. I wanted it to, but
yeah. Well, when I first kind of started and was finding out about all the information that, no, not information, finding out things like I don't even know how to say it. That people would say to me, women are not able to fight. Women are shit. They can't fight. They're not strong. And then I would say to the Thai trainers, I was like, oh, I want to fight at Lumpinee Stadium. And they were like, ha, 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 go away. Go. Never. And I was like, what do you mean? And then I was just like, no matter what happens in life, I'm going to be the first girl to ever fight there. I'm never going to let anyone talk down to women. Never let them feel how I did.
yeah, that was pretty badass. So that was last November, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, last November. So, okay, how did that end up happening? How did that even come? Like, because I know that part of like I know Ratchadamnern Stadium's doing it and stuff now too, which is awesome. To get more like international experience and to bring in more of like international standard in these international shows. So I understand like the stadiums in Thailand, what they're trying to do, but how did it come up where it's like, hey, we're going to have the first ever women's fight at Lumpinee Stadium. We're going to have Celeste fighting on it. How did that come up?
So there was some news I think I seen on Facebook that said Lumpinee are having discussions about having women fighting there. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. I knew this was going to happen. And I sent it to the boss of Singer Muay Thai. I was like, whatever you do, please make sure I am the first woman to fight here, please. And he said, all right, I'll try my best. And then he was talking to them. They said, yeah, for sure. And then I went on Facebook one day and there was a fight with Soros. I'm not sure. Do you know Soros?
Mm-hmm.
And a Thai lady. And they were scheduled to fight at Lumpinee. And I said to the boss, I was like, what happened? Like, this is what I wanted more than anything in life. He said, I'm sorry. But then actually, I think I had seen 2 Thai women were going to fight there first.
Mm-hmm.
And I said that to the boss and he's like, don't worry, I'll make sure you're the first foreigner. And I said, it's okay. Like, it's their country. Of course, 2 Thai women can fight. But then I think I seen the foreigner and the Thai and I was so sad. Mm-hmm. And then actually Lumpinee Stadium was closed.
Yes.
And the bout with the 2 Thai women, they fought in a car park outside of the stadium. And then Soros and the Thai woman fought outside the stadium. And they said to me, they were like, your fight has been postponed 2 or 3 weeks. We're going to bring it back inside the stadium. And I was like, oh my God, this is sick. And then mine was, the first to ever go in the ring.
Yeah, literally making history in the sport. So that's where like for me, I work in some of the like as like a referee, ring official, and all that stuff too. So I understand the significance of that, and I think a lot of people who are probably newer to the sport don't quite like grasp like how big of a move that actually is. To bring women into the stadium and then for you to be the first one, like you said, Sounds like that was always the plan. You just didn't. You're like, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, I knew it was gonna happen.
So, like, going through and everything like that with your training. There's obviously, so you've been training 7 years now, or just probably a little over 7 years. Has there been a time where you wanted to quit?
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God. 100%. Maybe a few times, more than once. The worst time I think was I had 3 really tough fights in a row. I think the first one, it was just after, like when the stadium started opening after COVID. So I didn't really have anywhere to train. Like my trainer trained me, which was really nice, but I didn't really have the training I needed. I had fought Thai fight against a girl called Pet Dija. You know Pet Dija?
Of course.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, number one. Yeah. And I thought she was the same. At the time, I was like 48 kilos. I wasn't really eating. I wasn't really training. I got to the stadium. I thought we were going to be the same size because when she was a superstar, she was a teenager. I got to the stadium and she's like the Hulk. And I was like, oh my God, what happened to you?
Yeah, you should be like a kid.
Yeah, and then this adult female was there and she'd been weightlifting for 2 years. She disappeared off the earth and came back completely different. I was like, holy shit. Anyway, that fight happened, lost first round. And then the next fight, I lost, and the next fight I lost, and I just felt really, really bad. And I was just really depressed and sad. And I think I stopped training for like a month or something. And I was like, I don't know what I want to do. And then I think that's how I ended up at Phuket Singer Muay Thai.
Really?
Because I was like, yeah, I'll just go train here for some fun. And then, yeah, that's how that happened.
A happy accident, huh?
Yeah. I feel like that keeps happening.
Yeah. Well, the people that I've seen be most successful are the people who continue. And that's why I asked that question. So, like, during those times where you wanted to quit, what do you think? What is it that kept you going? Was it the person calling you fat, or?
No. I never thought about that person or that situation ever again, to be honest. It just was the starting point.
Yeah, the catalyst.
Yeah. Another time that I wanted to stop, I just trained so much and fought so often. Like I was fighting like maybe Friday, then Sunday, then the next week and the next week. And then I just didn't really have anything else. I don't know. And then I would stop. But with these periods that I had stopped training, I was even more sad. So I think what brought me back was knowing Muay Thai had saved my life and gives me purpose and goals and drive. Without it, I'm even sadder. So I have to find a balance. Like find other things I enjoy and training as well. Instead of being all or nothing, try to balance your life out.
Yeah. Going into like what you're talking about is it gives you the purpose, right? So through your fight career, obviously it's not something that every fighter likes to think about, but like when you stop being as active fighting, like think about like retiring from like high level competition, do you have a plan in place or like an idea at least of what you're going to do towards the end of that career?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to open my own gym. Hopefully I find a partner that I would do that with, like a husband, and I'd like to do Thai food. Not that that's related to Muay Thai, but like it's still the Thai
culture.
Yeah. And, yeah, maybe I would like to do like, speeches at schools to like motivate women and especially, but like not just women, like all people, like anyone that feels really lost. Just keep trying to find something that will give you purpose. Because that's what Muay Thai did for me.
Same for me. So, and I think a lot of people that are in it, like I said, long term, generally the people that like is like one of those things like, shit, I wish I would have found this like sooner. When I was coming through it. So, for you, sounds like obviously you're in this for the long haul. currently you're ranked number 1 for WBC Muay Thai. You don't have the title, or do you?
I fought for the title in Australia.
Okay. Who was that against?
A girl called Kim Townsend.
Kim
She's
Townsend.
Australian as well.
Okay. Okay. So was that just like a national title, or what was that?
That was the world title. They considered me to be Thai, I think. So that's how it kind of
That's interesting. So is there, like, obviously one championship is, the road to one championship is taking precedence for that for you. Do you think, and what I've seen with one is they're very good with their contracts and allowing people to go fight over in other organizations and stuff as well. Is there any talks in you perhaps getting a rematch or fighting anybody else for the ranking for WBC Muay Thai?
There is no talk. I had made a post on my Instagram tagging the promotion I fought on, saying when's the rematch, but I got no reply.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't want to talk. This is not talking towards my opponent. I respect her, but I feel like the fight was mine, and she just literally ran away the whole fight. And if it was in Thailand, it would have been a lot different.
Yeah, and that's international competition, right?
It happens to every country. I understand.
Oh yeah. Have you been to China? Have you competed in China yet?
No, but I know you cannot win there, and the same with Russia.
You can win in China. I brought a woman there, and she won a decision in China.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's like was like one of those things that I was like, oh no, yeah, we had it on the cards, but we lost. Like, we're gonna lose because of China. No, they raised their hand. Me and her, because in Mandarin we don't understand what they're saying. They raise their hand. We're both shocked. We're like, oh, cool, but. It's you'll probably end up there at some point also, just given the amount of activity that's there. I don't know, because I know one's been doing primarily like Thailand and Singapore and Malaysia. I'm sure they'll eventually get back into China at some point. For you thinking about that, obviously you're living in Thailand, so I'm assuming you're learning Thai or you speak Thai. Are you trying to learn any other languages or anything like that to facilitate like your audience long term?
I had never thought about that. I am not, but I will look into that.
Yeah, it's something I think, like, obviously Mandarin's a big one. Especially in China, if you're fair skinned, you have light skin. It's like, for everybody's kind of be watching, right? But also Spanish is big following in Brazil for Muay Thai. So like Portuguese, stuff like that as well. Even if you have stuff like translated on for people. And I know there's a lot of Brazilians in Phuket. So
there's a whole gym. Thank you.
Yeah. Literally. Wait, so when you're coming into your training at Phuket Singha Muay Thai, I think is there a couple Americans there, right?
Yeah, there is. Andrew, Bree, and maybe some others.
Mm-hmm. So when you're at that gym, like for your training, I know you were saying during shutdowns, your trainer was training you, right? So you were saying like, hey, I wasn't able to get the kind of training I wanted or like that I should be getting in regards to, like, I'm assuming it's like stuff like clinching, sparring, things that people with different body types to be able to train with. Do you get that all, like, because Phuket, for those that haven't been there before, it's very small. Obviously you end up, sometimes riding on your motorbike, you're riding past your opponent that you're fighting against next week, right? Or you're like running past each other like, hey.
Yeah.
Are you like, do they do all the training in-house? Do you go to other gyms for sparring or anything like that as a woman to get like more sparring with women, or is it mostly in-house?
Before it was mostly in-house, but luckily enough, my last camp, my crew Pat, the boss of the gym, he took me down to Tiger Muay Thai to train with women there, and to Phuket Fight Club with women there. So, I mean, that worked out amazing for me because At our gym, there is a lot of people, but there's not a lot of women or anyone my size. So, I mean, I was so grateful for that.
And it's because I don't think that's that common from what I've seen over there. Because again, just because it's so small, so it sounds like your trainer's really trying to look out for you, which is good.
Yeah, he is. I really appreciate it. It really helped me. I mean, I clinched and sparred with a lot of high level girls, and yeah, it really worked out.
So for your weight division stuff too, obviously there's a lot of Thai women that size, 48 kilograms, correct?
Yes, but the road to one is 52 kilos.
Is that 52?
Because one championship starts at that weight. There's
they don't have the 105 pound. So for the 52 kilogram, do you go lower than that also, or is that like kind of like the upper part of like your weight class?
Before I was fighting at 49, 50 kilos.
Okay. So is there anybody that like you're kind of watching like, oh, what, I'm going to be fighting this person soon? Or is there anybody that's kind of on your radar that like you're looking forward to being able to get in the ring with?
Probably like looking into one championship, the top girls, which is Alicia, Stamp, and a few more girls. But I'm training with Alicia, sparring and clinching with her, so I don't know if I can say that because we're training part.
Yeah, I think at that point it's like if it happens, it's business, and you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not like I'm gonna fight her one day. No. So in that weight division, so Stamp, Janet Todd, I know. So Angela Chang, she's a friend of mine. I know she was supposed to be in that tournament also, but she was dealing with she had a travel segment that pushed her out of it and stuff like that too. So that's how I'm a little bit familiar with it. I was like, oh, this goes Celeste in it too. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make sure to watch it. So they're having this Road to One Championship. It's on Fairtex Fight Promotions. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So when's the next one for you?
September 17th.
September 17th. Okay. And for those that are listening, September 17th is going to be September 16th here in California time. It's usually, I think, those fights they start at like 7 p.m. in the evening, and it's the morning time in Thailand. So I'm trying to like do time conversion in my head. But are you used to fighting in the morning like that?
Previously, before I ever fought at Lumpinee, I'd only ever fought at night. So all the first Lumpinee fight I had and the last two at Lumpinee, I've all been in the morning. But honestly, it just feels the same.
Yeah, you're training in the morning anyway, so it's kind of like you're used to getting up and going to go move your body and stuff like that also. So awesome. So outside of Muay Thai, for your life in Phuket, I've seen. So you have, was it 2 birds?
Yeah.
So are you like, what kind of birds are they?
Cockatiel and a budgie.
Okay, so because I know, like, for those that don't know, like having birds in Thailand is like a whole thing. I know they have the birds that sing. So I know cockatiel is not one of the ones that sings. You said there's a buzzy? No,
No.
they're solely for pets.
Yeah, these are solely for pets. But the birds, they do have, I don't know what type they are, but they just look like wild birds.
I had a friend over there who got like, he went down like the whole rabbit hole, and he was like living in his son, training birds and stuff like that. Yeah, he went from Muay Thai to that. I'm like, are you making money that? He's like, yeah, like I'm making money doing this. So I was like, all right. That's where I started seeing more and more of like that kind of cultural thing. And I started realizing that, I was seeing people carry these bird cages, and I didn't realize they were bird cages until I knew about that. So what else do you do? Obviously, training is a full-time thing for you. That's what you're there for in Thailand. But what are some of the things you do to kind of, I guess, maintain that balance from training and fighting to being able to be, you?
Recently, like, because I'm so focused on the road to one, I haven't had any balance. But when I do have balance, basically, I just try to maybe like, I know it doesn't sound fun, but like work online or meal prep, play with my birds, go for a motorbike ride. I don't really do much, to be honest.
It's like the downtime is like any like quote unquote balance you have right now is like whatever you can do to kind of just like relax a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously in Phuket too, you got a lot of, awesome beaches and stuff like that as well. For coming out of shutdowns and stuff too, I haven't really talked to anybody about this yet, but have you seen an uptick in tourism since they've been reopening, or is like the town still kind of like quiet, or how's it going over there?
Oh, absolutely. It's kicking up. I mean, it's nothing like it was, but there's definitely people coming back in. The gym's getting a little bit busier. The beaches are busier. People are starting to earn money again. Things are opening. So it's really nice to see. In COVID, it was so bad. It was like a ghost town.
Yeah.
Everybody had to shut down. Like, unfortunately, a lot of people committed suicide because they didn't have any income coming in. They didn't see a way out. They weren't lucky. Like, I know Australia, I'm not sure America, but like the government would give you money. Whereas here, if you've got no money, like
you're screwed. Yeah, I remember hearing about that through it. So like from the media, stuff like that as well. And that was like, I think there was at one point, it was like more deaths from suicide than COVID in the country, right?
Oh, so absolutely.
It's definitely was a trying time for country of Thailand. It's good to be able to see them reopening and being able to get that tourism back going, because that's such a big piece of like their economy there. Also for Muay Thai, also like so many people go to Thailand. I know the Thai government's doing some stuff to help promote tourism through Muay Thai now, which is cool. To see that like, hey, we have this awesome cultural thing that Westerners are interested in. Let's try to figure out a way to safely promote it for them. For your life in Phuket, Celeste, what do you think was like the number one thing? Like, when you were first living there, what were the things that were like the hardest for you to adapt to being in Thailand from Australia to there?
So I first moved to Koh Samui. Hardest things to adapt to. I don't know, because I've always had like a very different life. So it's easy for me to adapt to things. But I guess for someone that had always lived in a house and lived in the same place, maybe it would be like, I'm sorry, I don't know.
No, it's okay. I put you on the spot for that one, but like I said, you kind of covered that before. It makes sense that it wasn't that hard for you to kind of just get settled. You're like, oh, I'm in a new place again. Here we go. But, obviously you put your roots in there. So was there, like, as you were doing that, like, what made you decide to go from Koh Samui to Phuket? Was it just kind of like boredom of being on Koh Samui?
I think this might be too truthful, but I had a partner there when we broke up and I didn't want to see them. So I went to Phuket. And there's also a lot of more opportunity in Phuket. There's more stadiums, more people. It's a lot bigger. Koh Samui was so small. And then in Phuket, I had better training. I had more opportunities to fight. It was just everything I wanted.
Yeah, ended up being for the better, right? For more time.
Yeah, one of those things that are like we said before, like the accident thing, like blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it's the silver lining of the situation, right? Obviously, it's funny. I've seen you joke about this a lot on there, but
I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. So, what's the deal with? Like, do you honestly get that many people asking you for pics?
I get a couple, yeah.
That's like, and I've talked to a couple of like women fighters about this. Is it just like anonymous profiles that are asking you for this stuff, or like?
Most of them, yes. And then I say, yeah, sure, send me the money, and then they disappear.
Yeah, just send me the money. Sure, yeah.
But I think only a few of them have sent me money, and I did send them. Like, why is it? They're going to look at my profile and do whatever they're going to do with my feet. So you might as well get money from it. I see all these girls saying they don't want the money, and I was like, "Oh, you send them to me."
Yeah, hey, you're like, hey, I'll cut you back a little fee if you give me I'll give you a finder's fee.
Yeah, exactly. What's wrong with you?
I get it for some people. They think about it like, oh, I'm, being objectified through it, or it's like it's sexualizing my body in some way. I had somebody, a family friend, and she was dating like a famous like American football player, and she found out she was on something called like Rate My Feet or something like that. They took her pictures from her boyfriend where she was barefoot and cropped and rated her feet. Like, that's how I'm like, this exists.
Yeah, so someone else is going to make money off your feet. Why not just do it yourself?
I mean, you make a point, and I see both sides. I see her side. Yeah, I see both sides, but I think it's freaking hilarious how you're using that in your social media. And like I said, I had to ask because I've seen it come up so much. Like, just like going through the feed, like, Celeste, oh, feet pics, okay, like that's your thing. It's like the the future world champion that posts about feet pics and birds that lives in Phuket. So I think it's obviously known for fighting and stuff too, but it's cool to see people talking about this and stuff too, and just like having a candid conversation about it. Because obviously it doesn't seem like does it bother you when people ask that, or okay?
No, not at all.
Yeah, some people I know it really does. So it's like really triggering for some people. I never thought I would be talking about these stuff on the podcast, but here we are. Kind of going next topic here, going into some Muay Thai specific questions. But when you're training Muay Thai, so you're an orthodox fighter, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so left or right kick? What's your preference?
Right.
Right kick, really?
Yeah. Why would it be the switch kick? The right kick, for sure.
This is why I ask people this question. Everybody has their different reasoning behind it. Some people say, hey, left kick is unexpected. Some people are like, well, right kick is my dominant leg. I make more power and stuff like that also. So that's like just one of the questions I like to go through with people and ask them about that. So going through your training and all your stuff, did you ever train back in Australia for a bit, or was it always been like pretty much solely Thailand after that initial?
Yeah. Thailand, yeah.
Thailand, okay. So for anybody that's, let's say, a young woman that's getting started in Muay Thai, do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, absolutely. Do it because you want to do it. Nobody's forcing you to do it. If anyone talks bad about you, ignore them and believe in yourself. And whatever you want from the sport, you can get it. Whether it's fitness, exercise, professional level, whatever you want, you can do it.
Awesome. And for how can people follow you? How can they find you?
They can follow me on my Instagram, CelesteBest7, or Facebook, Celeste Hansen. Yeah.
All right. I'll make sure to get all those down in the show notes for anybody that's listening later. And then for your training and stuff like that, life, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I mean, the list could go on and on, but basically everyone from my gym, Phuket Muay Thai, thank you. Thank you to every trainer I've ever had, and any gym partners and people who have sponsored me and believed in me. Anyone who liked or commented or give me a phone call, shout out to everyone, really.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, Celeste, thank you for the time today. Wish you the best on the road to one championship. If you ever want to come on again, let me know. Happy to bring you on and talk about this and talk about stuff you're doing in Muay Thai. It's kind of one of the reasons why we have this podcast, to give people like you more platform and to be able to educate people on what people like you are doing.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. And thank you for what you're doing for fighters. I mean, It's really helped us.
Awesome.
And helps the fans listen, everything.
Of course. Thank you so much. All right, that's it today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you guys are listening on iTunes, please go leave a review. It means the world to me if you enjoy the content, if you like hearing about all stuff that has to do with Muay Thai and what we're doing.